Hello Exiles, this is Kane here, doing a little bit something a little bit new this time. Typically I will every league or so put out a video of my character for the league, most of the time usually in endgame setups. Like last league I had, kind of forget, but I know in Infliction I had a cast on crit build. Some pretty amazing setups, but this time I did want to kind of go over a league start setup that I did, and as you can see I am doing Leapslam, specifically Leapslam of Groundbreaking. Now there's a lot of main reasons for this as opposed to something similar to, say, a Lacerative Hemorrhage, and that is mostly due to the quality of life. I found out that Lacerative Hemorrhage is very bad for when it comes to clear, because you have to kind of stand still, and it has a very small arc in front of it, so you're not really hitting everything around you. So with Leapslam, you bypass that by not only moving around while you're attacking for extra mobility, but also you have this big AoE around you, as you can see. So like for the harvest, it covers like the entire harvest area. It's also important to understand that Leapslam at Groundbreaking is not like a bad skill or anything. It has a very high effective damage. I think it's like 680% or so at level 20, which results in some very good bleeds. So the idea here is just to stack max block, go bleeds, leap slam around, cause some explosions, and just continue leap slamming while you clear the entire map. So you can see it is fairly straightforward, pretty hands-off. You don't really take any damage at all because of those block nodes on there. I have a lot of health regen, so that helps out a lot. In the budget setup, we do use Jack the Axe, and Jack the Axe does have a little bit of a extra bonus for more regen for each enemy that you have bleeding around you. So that is some extra quality of life, which is very nice, and Jack the Axe is a pretty inexpensive item. Might be a little bit unattainable early league, since I think it was like 1 divine for day 1, but at this point in the league it should be fairly inexpensive. The other required unique would be Raslapa's Coil. Now, it's not necessarily required, but it's something that I would suggest highly. The reason for that is that with bleed you want to have an extremely high hit. Now, you're not scaling the hit damage, but your bleeds do scale from those hits. So the higher top end that you have, the more damage your bleed will have, because every time you apply a new bleed, the most damaging bleed will be the active bleed on the target. So with the high variance, it doesn't really matter because you're not like relying on that hit. It's just that one hit that really matters. So with that, you use Raslapa's Coil, volatility support. I don't necessarily recommend volatility support unless you have Raslapa's Coil, as it doesn't really give that much damage. Cruelty is probably a better option there. But my Path of Building that I'm going to link in here, while it is fairly incomplete, does have a slight breakdown of some of the gems that I am using. Now, it is also important to go over some of the information in the Path of Building that I have. Is a pivot setup over for Perfect Agony. Now, Perfect Agony I haven't quite got into yet because the sword that is required for it is an extremely difficult craft. You need crit multi, attack speed, flat damage. It's quite an achievement to get something like that. And I'm still working on that, just spamming harvest for those crit reforges right now, as you could see earlier. The idea for Perfect Agony is that you stack crit multiplier and you get additional damage for damage over time instead of the bonus damage for the crit hit itself. So for that you would stack a lot of crit damage, but you do want to have a high crit chance. So for that, in the setup that I listed in there is a very underused unique called Yungil's Harmony, I believe. So it gives a high amount of flat crit, and with the downside that your crits do not deal extra damage, which with Perfect Agony you already do not do extra damage for crits, so that downside is nothing, and you just get that bonus upside of something like 30% base critical strike. So it is very nice. I might do an update with the Perfect Agony setup, but looking at Path of Building, it has some very promising damage numbers. You can get around a little over half of dot cap for some fairly achievable items. Now, the item that I have in there for the Path of Building for the sword is perfect. I'm just in the habit of putting that in there like that. It's not necessary, but it is what it is. But in any case, as you can see here right now, I'm still running the Minotaur map. It doesn't really take very long, but some of the bosses, like this Verisium boss, takes a little bit of time. As you can see right here, I'm not spamming the lead because, you know, the empowered lead from Fist of War is the only one that you really care about, so I'm just kind of jumping every once in a while, reapplying the lead. It is what it is. But yeah, so the next thing you'll see is Minotaur itself. Minotaur is a fairly easy boss fight, especially if you have a lot of fizz mitigation and block chance. And for this, you can see that I will be doing pretty much nothing and just sitting there and leaping around. So here we go. Minotaur, very quick. After this, we're going to have Elder and then an Uber Elder fight. Now for the Uber Elder, I did swap out the Sunder. You don't necessarily need to do that. I only did that just because it's some quality of life and being able to dodge the mechanics. In my opinion, a Maven Witnessed Uber Elder is more difficult than, say, the Feared, which I have also cleared, Feared with Leapslam specifically. So you can do L content with Leapslam. There's no problem with that. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys to it. Enjoy the bosses. Leave a comment, subscribe, see what you want to do. Let me know if there's anything you would like to get for me to improve upon, or if you have any questions about the build, I'd be happy to answer. For now, let's go ahead and kill Elder, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
So that was the Elder. What terrible, monstrous power. We must find a way to defeat it, Exile. We seem to have driven it from this world There must be a way to...
I may not remember.
Father! No!
Putrefy, rot, spoil, and fester.
Exile, do something!
I've never seen anything like this. Feel your life turn around.